So for this week's video I started out with something like this. This is a flat sawn piece of ash, and of course ash is one of the king materials for making handles. So this week I took some old hammers that I had laying around, and I made some nice handles for them. It's a pretty easy project, most of you will be able to do this as well. So I'm going to show you how I do it. So let's get started. So for the handles I'm going to use ash. So I'm going to start out by cutting a wide strip out of this flat sawn board. So ash is one of the best handle materials in the world, so this will make some pretty good handles. So next we're going to cut a piece of wood in half so we can shape two handles out of it. So this type of hammer is referred to as a little fist in Dutch, and it traditionally has a kind of a short handle. So that's what we're going to do. We're just gonna take my square, just leave a little bit of extra. Most of it will be waste, but the little bit of extra wood will make it easier to shape the handle. So when selecting your wood for a handle, you always want to, well, first off make sure you get the right pieces of wood. I've used oak a lot of times. People don't always agree, but I think oak is a great material for handles. Ash and hickory are of course the king for any type of handle, but the special thing you need to pay attention to is the grain orientation. So when we mount the hammerhead, we'll mount it like this. So the grain will travel like along the length or the width of the piece of wood. But the reason behind it is that when you put it like this, I can tell from experience, lots of cheap axe handles from hardware stores have these type of handles, and if the grain orientation is like this, with the hammer mounted like so, well, it makes the handle will just crack way easier, because it's like a deck of cards, you know. You can it's easier to bend a deck of cards this way if they're stacked like this than it is to bend them this way. If you do it like so, it's just way less likely to split. So I'm going to shape the handles with my freshly restored wooden spoke shave. It's pretty sharp. It's a pretty good tool. I've been experimenting with it already, and it's really cool. Clean the press really nice. It's all antique European beech. Really nice tool. Also, I'm going to use my round bottom spoke shave to add in the ergonomic details. So next up we're going to use the Stanley number 80 cabinet scraper. This particular piece has a pretty challenging grain. Let's just put it that way. So the cabinet scraper is basically a high angle solid card scraper, and it allows you to take care of really tough grain, twisted grain stuff. So the high angle makes sure that no material really tears out. I'm going to use my big wooden mallet to secure the handle in really tight. So next we're going to add some step wedges to add some extra strength. So I'm going to tap those in really carefully. finally, some boiled linseed oil as a finish. So the hammer handles are finished. They turn out pretty nicely in my opinion. This one is a little bit paler than the other two. This one was also the easiest one to work. So not sure why that was, but so somehow this one has a kind of a curly maple tiger stripe pattern in it. Really like it. It looks pretty good. So I added my maker's mark because I'm proud of what I made. So I want to show it to people. And well, these antique hammers, they will be used a lot. I actually bought this one on a yard sale. I bought this one from a friend, and this one was when I inherited from my grandfather. I made another handle. It was actually the first tool I really restored. So I made a really long handle for it, but wasn't really that good. So that was actually a piece of brownberry wood that after I cut it off, I turned it into a handle for this Nicholson wood rasp. So it's pretty good. Nothing gets wasted here. So making a hammer handle is really not a lot of work. It's basically a project that most of you will be able to pull off. So I'd say get yourself some flat sawn wood and some old hammers and start practicing. So this is for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, please hit the thumbs up. Let me know what you think. If you have any tips or feedback on my video style or my projects or whatever, be sure to leave it down below as well. I always appreciate that. I always take that into account because other people might see something that I don't. So also don't forget to check out my social media. Facebook is only really for my most engaged fans. I post things like sneak peeks and shop updates, stuff like that. So stuff that most people don't get to see. So I post all that on my Facebook. So on my Instagram I post pictures and videos of what I'm working on. And so if you follow me there, you can kind of follow along with the process. I post almost daily. I post extra content there. So it's definitely worth checking out. So that's it, guys. Thanks for watching, and see you next video.